All right, thank you, Nina. I'm Jerry Lawson. As Nina said, I'm the National Manager for the small business portion of Energy Star. I want to thank everyone who took the poll for sharing some information with us. That's helpful. And obviously, welcome everyone to our overview of Energy Star for small business. We've invited all of our Energy Star partners to the presentation because we know that even if you aren't a small business owner or operator, you may work with small businesses in the supply chain or as clients. You may even have a family member who owns or operates a small business. Whatever your small business connection, Energy Star has helped to offer for small firms so that they can save money and be more competitive and enhance their reputation for community leadership by reducing pollution through greater energy and water efficiency. You see some of the basic statistics on Energy Star that we, for more than 20 years, have been helping consumers and business owners and operators save money, save electricity, and prevent pollution, which is why EPA began the program so many years ago. The trust of Energy Star is very important to us. We're really the most highly trusted environmental brand from surveys we've seen, ranking first among other green labels, with some 92% of survey respondents reporting that the Energy Star mark is a product, on a product influences their purchasing decisions. And the vast majority of them report that exerts, quote, tremendous amount of influence. And small businesses can partner with Energy Star and share in the goodwill of this brand. One of the key tools that we offer is the Action Workbook for small business. It is really a step-by-step guide. It's fairly non-technical, but we try to make everything understandable, realizing that we have a lot of different diversity among our readers. We have of course, the small business owner, operator, they have staff, they have contractors, so there are a lot of people participating in the small business. We have special sections because we know that auto dealers, grocers, hotels, motels, offices, restaurants, retail, tenants, all use energy a bit differently. But over the years, from our partners, we've learned that there are pretty much 7 core steps to successful energy management, and we'll apply that to water as well. That's part of what we offer. And it all starts with a commitment and assessing where you are, having a baseline so you'll be able to set goals and know when you get there. We have information in the guide for creating your action plan, implementation, and tracking your progress. We also have learned it's very important to recognize achievement, whether it's by your staff or a contractor. This is just very important to let people know when things have been done right. Now, speaking of the Action Workbook, we have something special going on. We've been working with local governments and business organizations and utilities and found that they've been quick to respond to the opportunity to co-brand with Energy Star. That is to share ownership. Here's a couple of samples. One on the left is from a Tennessee Valley Authority utility, a local power company, of their small business cover. On the right is Tampa Electric and their small business cover. So we do have online information on how to do this at energystar.gov/smallbiz. And it's a rather easy and quick process to do the co-branding. We don't offer this, and there's really no reason an individual small business would want to do this, but it's generally for a larger organization that would have many small business clients or customers, or as in the city, you know, would have a lot of small business restaurant residents.
All right, great. So we're going to open up another poll. If you think that your city, utility, chamber of commerce, or business association would be interested in co-branding with the Action Workbook, we'd love it if you could submit your name and email so that we can follow up with you afterwards. To provide that information, you can see that in the polling screen on the side of your screen. If you don't see the polling window, you can go ahead and hover your mouse at the bottom of the screen and click the 3 little dot icon. Then you should be able to select polling from there. So, Jerry, I'm just going to go ahead and give everybody about 45 seconds to complete that.
Okay.
All right, it looks like we've got a couple responses. If you weren't able to get your name and email in here in time, you can go ahead and also send that to us via the chat window. So I'm going to close the poll for now, but if you miss this opportunity, you can also just send it via the chat window.
Okay, thanks for that, Nina, and thanks for those of you who sent some information. Whether your small business has its own green team or you rely on contractors or you maybe have that one dedicated individual who's the leader, Energy Star resources include tools and training and technical support to help act on the following facts. One, that significant financial savings are possible. And we found small businesses on a per square foot basis can save as much as a Fortune 500 company, often starting with no cost, graduating to low-cost actions, with the savings available to reinvest in salaries, inventory, marketing, or your other priorities. The larger savings can often be done on the basis of a positive cash flow if you're strategic, and or a return on investment that can be calculated. It's important for building owners to know that the asset value of the facility can be increased and protected. We've documented this over the years. This is important if expansion or major remodeling would require finance. Now, this improved financial efficiency will make your business more creditworthy if it's needed for repairs or remodeling or new construction, as I said. And the useful lifespan of the facility itself and the equipment can be extended for even more savings. At the same time, you're improving the comfort and appearance and the functionality of your facility for your employees and customers. Your business brand will be in good company with the Energy Star. As we said, more than 92% of American consumers recognize it. And consumers have repeatedly told surveyors that they prefer to trade with environmentally conscious businesses. Customers, employees, and suppliers may be inspired and educated by the example set by the small business, and they could take these savings home and into the community. And then with the Energy Star tools, your business's contribution to environmental stewardship can be verified. This is the Be Strategic slide, and every line here I think is pretty important. And the fact is, taking no action is the equivalent of a negative action. Inaction is an action. No decision is a decision. And doing nothing locks in the costly waste that you're paying for now. So it's important, no matter where you start, to start small and with low cost or no cost activities, and start learning your way and developing a strategy. And if your upgrades are strategic, they will pay for themselves. You can experience a positive cash flow. So it's so important to know where you start. We're fond of saying you can't manage what you don't measure. So it's important to benchmark, and we'll talk more about that in a moment. And as I've been saying, these no-cost actions can be leveraged. Your lower cost savings results can be leveraged into higher cost upgrades and savings. And then it's important, even if you're looking to buy efficient heating, ventilation, air conditioning, a new efficient boiler or solar, it's very important to reduce your waste first, to put efficiency first so that the new equipment can be sized correctly for the long term. You'll probably pay less for that new equipment if it's sized properly, and then the return on investment you're expecting from that equipment will be secured because you're not undercutting it later with new activities, new upgrades. Okay, here's the home page for small business. What can you do today? Well, you can join Energy Star at energystar.gov/join-buildings. And then we have this action workbook at energystar.gov/small-biz. And then you can begin to learn about benchmarking at energystar.gov/benchmark. On this screenshot of the small business homepage, you'll see circled in red the position to download the action workbook for small business. Below that, you'll see a link to a one-page, two-sided fact sheet on co-branding. You can learn all about co-branding there. We know that some number of small businesses are tenants, and it's important for tenants to know that even though they probably can't and would not want to invest in certain equipment because of the ownership by the landlord, there's still a lot they can do. So we have over the years developed a number of strategies, and we also have a good number of ideas for actually working with your landlord to find mutual savings that really can help you both. So here's our other big tool in addition to the Action Workbook. It's Portfolio Manager. It's a free and very powerful online tool that helps small businesses and all our partners understand and better manage their use and the costs of energy and water. Portfolio Manager is in use now by thousands of small businesses and by hundreds of thousands of U.S. commercial buildings. There's a reason that even large corporations who could afford any software use this same online tool that's freely available to the small business. What does Portfolio Manager do exactly? Well, it tells the story right here. We're assessing the efficiency of the whole building, both energy and water. And if you're doing recycling and want to track your waste materials and your materials management, you can do that as well. You can track your green power purchases if you're doing that. It's rather easy to share data in this password protected account. You just specify who else can take a look and how deeply they can look. We have all kinds of reports available. You can track the changes. That's what's important. Get your baseline, then going forward, look at what you're saving. At the same time, your greenhouse gas emissions from a baseline, your potential savings, your prevention of pollution can be calculated. Now, we not only have these embedded standard reports in the tool, but there are a lot of custom reports. You can really figure out what you need most, and you can design that report while you're in Portfolio Manager. And it's within Portfolio Manager that a partner applies for certification, which I'll explain. There are just a ton of metrics available in Portfolio Manager, literally hundreds. Along with the obvious of energy consumption, water consumption, greenhouse gas emissions, there is a 1 to 100 Energy Star score, which we'll say another word about. And it's comparing your small business to the average U.S. facility of your type, be it an office or a restaurant or an auto dealer, whatever. The other really unique things, and this is why you have big companies opting for this tool instead of buying one off the shelf, using your zip code for your building, Portfolio Manager compares your past 12 months of local temperatures to 30 years of U.S. Weather Service data for your zip code. And it factors out any unusual weather that could be driving your energy use and confusing your return on investment or making it unclear what costs you're really avoiding. We've had situations where a major lighting upgrade was done and the partner thought they weren't really seeing the savings they expected. But once the building was benchmarked and the weather was normalized and the partner realized, oh, it's heating or air conditioning driving this cost, I really was saving with the high efficiency lighting or whatever else I may have done. That makes it much clearer, and that's one of the great powers of Portfolio Manager is the weather normalization. And then the other tool, or feature, using your zip code, is that Portfolio Manager calculates your facility's greenhouse gas emissions based on your energy use multiplied by the so-called emissions factor reported to EPA by your utility. This gives you a zip code and a really specific to your building per your use and an accurate read on your greenhouse gas emissions and your pollution prevention. So the Energy Star score is 1 to 100. It's easy for everyone to understand that 50 is average, and here's a sample of 62. We have found that those partners who start off with the lowest score can most easily, even with no cost efforts, elevate their score pretty quickly. And then the more efficient you become, those last percentages get a little tougher because you're building on a very strong base already. So Energy Star certified buildings. We have nearly 35,000 U.S. buildings that have earned Energy Star certification. What this means is, on average, they're using 35% less energy than their peer building, be that an auto dealer or a motel, compared to that same building nationally. And depending on the emissions of the utility, 35% fewer greenhouse gas emissions. And it would calculate for you if your utility is reporting using nuclear or hydro or some low greenhouse gas or no greenhouse gas emitter, it will calculate accordingly. So with a 75 or higher score, your facility is eligible, but to maintain the integrity of the Energy Star, we require the independent verification by a registered architect or engineer based on the most recent 12 months of data. Small business types that can currently earn the Energy Star include hotels, motels, offices, and retail stores. We're currently working with the National Association of Auto Dealers to do the necessary data collection to extend this to auto dealers. And we're constantly working with other facility types to extend the capacity for certification. This is the slope, the increase for this showing 35,000 certifications, and it's a virtually identical slope showing the growing increase in benchmarking itself. We know that the end use of energy varies by property type. So in descending order from the left, you see the energy use intensity, which is roughly energy use per square foot, starting with quick service restaurant on the far left, and then next to it, convenience store, supermarket, grocery store next, then a full service restaurant, then hotel, motel, then office, then the automobile dealership, and then the energy use for general retail. This data is available online at the long URL address below. So if your facility type doesn't have an Energy Star score, what can you do? Well, use this EUI, the energy use intensity that I've just mentioned. That is always calculated within Portfolio Manager, whether an Energy Star score is available or not. And you will see a national median baseline EUI for your facility type, and then you can compare your own EUI score to that. And same as an Energy Star score, you can track improvement from your baseline. And we've had, in fact, the auto dealers did this, even without a score. They did recognition programs some years ago using EUI for auto dealers, and the recognition was awarded by their National Trade Association. So this is a case where, if say a city or Chamber of Commerce or Trade Association wanted to have a competition and offer recognition, you can use the EUI whether you have the Energy Star score or not. In the last few years, a growing number of cities and some counties are actually requiring Portfolio Manager benchmarking for commercial buildings. This is a result of their own concern for climate change and the pollution related to energy waste. What they typically require is benchmarking annual energy use, typically reported annually, and often disclosed publicly or to potential buyers or lessees of property. Now, this varies city by city, and I should add that EPA doesn't promote this type of local legislation, but once it started happening, we realized that we had to provide training and provide support, so we do that. If you want to find out about your community, if your local government or county requires this, this is the URL address, EnergyStar.gov buildings/policies and programs, and the actual link is a bit buried here. That's why it's circled in red on this page. This also is a map helping you find utility rebates or utility programs. But to find the actual ordinance or legislation in your city or county, this is the place to go.
All right, so I just opened up our last poll for today, which asks if you were affected by a local benchmarking law or if you are currently affected by one. So I'll just give everybody about 15 seconds to either answer that and yes or no. All right, so it looks like the majority of our attendees, about 2/3, were not affected, but 1/3 of the attendees were affected by a local benchmarking law, Jerry.
Okay, that's good to know. It's impressive, those of you, the 30% who are really aware. And it may not affect your small business based on square footage at this time, but there are some cities that are, 10,000 square feet and looking for a little, smaller buildings. So, in support of everyone, especially those who are under some ordinance to benchmark, but really it's for everyone, we have a very robust online training center, and it features weekly live webinars like this one that are recorded for your 24/7 access. We have a number of short 3 to 7 minute training videos on Portfolio Manager on YouTube. We have some step-by-step training guides that I think are really great, like these shown at the lower left. They are often 1 page, 2-sided, and some extend to 7 or 8 pages, depending. But they're very clear. There are steps 1, 2, 3, 4 on how to share data, how to enter utility data. There's a quick start guide that's very helpful, how to do reports, etc. We also have frequently asked questions that are really frequently asked questions by our partners, not ones that we planted for your education. We think that our partners know best, so that's there. Also, there's an easy link to send us your own questions if you have them. And we have a really highly rated help desk. I've seen, I think, 90% of users saying that it's very helpful and pretty quick at giving answers in a couple of hours. So this is actually a screenshot from inside Portfolio Manager showing you some of the navigation where you can, inside Portfolio Manager, go learn more. We have a knowledge base of the frequently asked questions. We have a glossary of terms. You can find other training recorded and live. This is another place you can send a question. You can find about web services that some utilities and some of our service and product provider partners offer. Then on the right-hand side, there are other technical references that you can go find. So this URL, EnergyStar.gov/buildingshelp, will open a small form that you can type in your question. Here's the homepage for labeled products. Energy Star works with the manufacturers of dozens and dozens of consumer and office and business products and equipment. And the idea is to drive continual improvement in their efficiency and performance. We now have many products that we started working with in the 90s that we've gone back more than once to manufacturers and negotiated a new percentage improvement. And at the point 3 or more, major manufacturers can meet that standard, then we moved ahead. We don't award an exclusive to one manufacturer. We want it to be something that the industry can get on board with. So small businesses should always look for the Energy Star when looking to purchase new equipment. I mentioned that we also are promoting water efficiency. We have a sister program here at EPA called Water Sense, and it's fairly parallel to Energy Star. Since you all represent commercial buildings, at the bottom of the slide is the commercial Water Sense page and the tools that they have, worksheets, checklists, assessment tools, tips, their own webinars, although we do have some water-saving webinars here on Energy Star, but they also certainly do that. They have a great best practices guide that you can download for free, and it's at, you'll see the URL again, EPA.gov/WaterSense, one word. Here are a few of the labeled products, the commercial labeled products, restroom appliances, facilities, pre-rinse spray valves for commercial food service, shower heads that might be used in gymnasiums or health clubs, etc., or any number of businesses, irrigation controllers, etc. More than 20,000 models have earned the WaterSense label. And there's another issue that some of you may experience, and that is that if you own property with a non-permeable surface, like a parking lot or sidewalk, some localities require a fee related to stormwater runoff, a form of water pollution. WaterSense has a Soak Up the Rain campaign that offers some advice and ideas and ways that some cities actually can work with you to mitigate a stormwater runoff fee if you have one. So here's a resource for that. Here's another great campaign. This is at Energy Star. It's called Bring Your Green to Work, and it's geared to the employees of the business or any organization, really. The idea is to provide some tips and posters and checklists, and we have a PowerPoint slide set. There's a lunch and learn flyer and best practices for the workplace to promote energy efficiency. And the idea is to get your colleagues and your coworkers, your employees on board and also thinking. So that's at EnergyStar.gov/work. Here's our latest campaign that we're very excited about. This is something we learned from our industrial partners who learned this from groups or organizations like Nissan and Toyota, Staples, corporations that have a really strong record in corporate energy efficiency. Their bright idea was, okay, the engineers and the facility managers, the technical people have really done a great job. Let's see what our coworkers in the warehouse or the administrative assistant or the salesperson, let's see what they can come up with. Let's turn them loose and with a clipboard and ask them to look for ideas and see what we missed. And really a great surprise to everyone is that the non-technical people came up with some really great ideas and some significant savings. So you don't have to dress up like pirates to do a treasure hunt, but a lot of the larger organizations are doing that, and they find it really helps people get excited and engaged. It brings out a competitive spirit if you want to have teams, and it could get you some very positive media attention in your local media market, that your customers could see. So at the homepage, EnergyStar.gov/treasure hunt, you'll see we have some tools. There's a 4-page how-to guide. We have some sample treasure maps that will help. And what these are, the treasure maps are sort of a compressed list of bullets of things to look for. And it helps, stimulate thinking while you walk around with the clipboard. We have specific treasure maps for retail and office. We're working now on developing them for restaurants and auto dealers. And competitions in general, sort of in the vein of treasure hunt. One of our most popular tools that's been around for a couple of years is the competitions guide. It's a 20-page document, a free download. Here again, we learned a lot from corporate partners, from large hospitals and school districts and other partners who had pioneered the idea of having teams to see who could find new energy savings, who could do the best job, and maybe you get lunch with the CEO, or a gift certificate, maybe some nominal award or prize. But this is powerful. People want to compete. They want to do these friendly competitions, and it's really been powerful, and it's something we learned from our partners. In support of competitions and treasure hunts, we have online competitor toolkits that have customizable posters and social media graphics and banners that you can put your company name on. All right, that concludes the formal presentation. We're going to open it up for question and answer, see if there's some more polling questions. So I'll be joined by Thayer Tomlinson, my lead for small business tech support, who spends a lot of time on email and phone calls with small businesses and franchising companies and all that. So Nina, do we have some more questions?